Welcome back to Harbour Unboxed. I'm here with Matt. So, hi Matt.
Yo.
Well done. Still got it. And we are about to build Matt's new computer. So in the previous episode, we tested it with it just on the bench and got some temperatures there. All quite good. We're going to stick it in the case now, retest it, and see what we end up with. So, time to get building.
Alright, I'll put the thermal paste on.
Yeah, go for it. What is that? What are you doing?
Oh.
If the people in the comment section see that, Matt, wipe that off, right. Do it again.
Where's the cloth?
I can't believe you're doing...
Yeah, I know. You'll be happy with
That's the wrong method as well.
You serious?
Haven't you... You did this for like a year, these builds. How do you not know the correct method for thermal paste? Try again.
Is it... You start here, right?
No. 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 Wrong. Look, I'll do it. I'll do it. No, give me the thermal paste. And that's how it's done. Right, see the difference between how you were doing it and how I did it?
Let me try. So just like this.
No, that's still not right. It's got to be just right, the perfect amount. You ready? Watch.
Yeah, okay. I can see what you did there.
Yeah, you got it?
Alright, I just want to make sure I can do it.
Alright. Alright, we'll go with that. Right, I'm going to have to settle. Alright, so the instructions we were given by Bitfenix was to top mount the 240mm radiator. Which will work well for extracting the heat from the CPU. Unfortunately, we can't do that because it very clearly hits the top of the motherboard. The VRM heatsink doesn't even come close to fitting, so that's not going to be an option. We're going to have to front mount the radiator, which means we'll be pushing any hot air generated by it into the case, which isn't really ideal, and we prefer to exhaust that out the top. The only other option would be to sit the fans externally on top of the case, and that would have to be pulling through the radiator. So anyway, we're going to have to relocate that and sort of change the plans we were going with. Okay, so that's where we're at. We have many fans in the front, the top, the back, and as a result, those are our fan headers and RGB connectors that Matt's going to deal with and make really neat in probably the next hour or two.
Yeah.
Alright, so what do you reckon, Matt? Looking alright so far?
Looking pretty black and white, isn't it?
Yep, Matt's pretty happy with the black and white theme we've got going on here. That wasn't planned, it just seemed to happen that way. Anyway, we've got most of it put together. We're just about ready to do the initial test, fire it up. We've just got to work out a graphics card. Do we have the graphics cards laying around anywhere? Oh, they're right over the far desk. So the plan initially was to install a GTX 1070 Ti. Why not? Overclock that, 1080 light performance, pretty good bang for your buck. That was what we were thinking of going with, but I'm no longer feeling that generous because graphics card pricing is crazy at the moment. Not sure Matt deserves a 1080 Ti. Might have to make a poll on that one.
Come on, guys.
An affordable alternative right now, and not even sure if alternative to a GTX 1070 Ti is the right word to use, but an affordable graphics card at the moment is the RX 560. Many leagues different in terms of gaming performance, but Matt really only plays games like Rocket League and stuff like that. So maybe that is something you can use to tie yourself over till graphics card pricing falls in line. So we're going to try both cards and see if Matt can play Rocket League on his RX 560. I think he can make do quite comfortably. So
maybe at 720p.
We'll find out what Matt's opinion is on the matter in a moment. Alright, so you can probably hear the fans. They're reasonably loud. We haven't done any fan curves or anything like that yet. We've just powered it on. It looks to be working. We'll plug an SSD in a moment, see if we can fire it up into Windows, and we'll run some tests with the front cover off, with it on, see how much difference that makes on thermals. Of course, put the side panels on as well. And yeah, we'll run some thermal tests right now to see how it goes. Okay, so we're back up and running and we're about to start stress testing again. We have the ambient air temperature in the room has come up by a degree, so we're at 22 degrees, so it shouldn't impact us too heavily. We're currently idling at 29 degrees with the overclock. So we're going to let this stress for an hour. Of course, the front of the case is off, so we have just boatloads of airflow going through the Enso at the moment. So this is an optimal scenario for this case. Once we've done this test with the front panel off and record the results, we're going to throw the front panel on and see how we get on like that. Alright, back soon. Okay, so let's first get a few things out of the way. For testing, we're obviously using a 240mm all-in-one liquid cooler and a boatload of fans. This isn't a review of the Bitfenix Enso. If it were, we'd at least test the case with an air cooler on the CPU and a stock fan configuration. I can certainly see how this case would suffer with just a single 120mm front-mounted fan in the middle position. There it's almost just moving air around itself. For this kind of limited airflow design, let's say, for it to work you really need three 120mm fans mounted in the front. Thankfully though, with the AIO we were forced to do that anyway. Of course, we've also installed two 120mm top-mounted fans as well, and they really help move air through the case. The Enso is an $80 US case, and at that price it's reasonably good value, given it looks nice and the build quality is solid, and it's pretty easy to work with. Performance-wise it was great, using our configuration which saw three 120mm fans in the front and three in the rear. The fans used were the Bitfenix Spectre Pro RGB LED 120mm case fans, and they cost $17 US each. So we have $102 worth of fans in an $80 case. This is an extreme example, and we were mostly paying for the fancy LED lighting effects. Bitfenix also sells 120mm case fans for just $6, and even without the fans from the all-in-one liquid cooler, you technically only need an additional 4. So you could achieve similar levels of airflow for an additional $24, and that would take the total bill for the case to about $100, which isn't that bad. Okay, so time for some temperature testing, and this is what we're faced with. Stock, the results were most impressive. On the bench, as seen in the previous episode, the Ryzen 7 1700 hit 44 degrees with a VRM temp of 60 degrees. Once installed in the Enso, the CPU load temps increased by just 4 degrees, and we felt that was a very reasonable and, well, great result. The VRM temps, though, those fell by 10 degrees, and I believe this is largely due to those two 120mm top-mounted fans. Then once overclocked, we see an increase of just 5 degrees for the CPU once installed inside the Enso. Granted, with the front panel removed, we did see no change in temperature when compared to the open testbed, so if the case did offer better airflow, the results would have been comparable to that of our best case scenario, but I suppose that's not that surprising. VRM temps with the front panel removed, they were good for the Gigabyte motherboard anyway, though I'd have to say 97 degrees is still rather horrible. Still, even with the front panel installed, we still saw better temps when compared to the open testbed. So, while certainly hotter once installed inside the Enso, the results are still very good and not far from our best case scenario. As a side note, if Bitfenix shipped the Enso with two 120mm fans in the front, then I feel it would perform much better in its out-of-the-box configuration. Right, well I think that went really well. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it looks awesome. The build's really clean. Really like the colours and can't wait to start doing some work with it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty surprised by how little difference we saw with the components installed in this case, especially after I'd heard that this is quite a hot case.
Heard it was a bit of a toaster.
But it's, yeah, really surprising. We only saw a 4 or 5 degree difference, and the room temperature's gone up a degree or so. So
yep.
Very, very surprising. I'd like to do actually a bit more testing with it, but handing it off to you, so I don't know. Not what sure we can do about that. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the build series building Matt's new computer. I hope Matt enjoys his new computer and it all goes well for him. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.